So, I've been doing a lot of research regarding the misplacement of the feminine energy or the female from our world construct, and to do so, looking up root words has helped a great deal to see how literally this world concept is flipped upside down. And I do mean literally flipped. So, this video will be about everyday words we use and their meanings, and I will just let you all take it from here. I advise everyone to do their own research into things, especially words. When you do that, you'll come to see this world with a different set of eyes. I use the online etymology dictionary quite often to find the root meaning of many words. So I suggest that you make etymonline.com, online etymology dictionary, your friend, if you are serious about your research. And normally I'd record the screen live when doing a video such as this, but lately I've been experiencing some lagging issues. So to quickly get this video out in a smooth and efficient way, I've decided to screenshot the pages here for you. So please look up these words on your own if you wish. Okay, we'll begin first with the word woman. And when we look up the word woman, we get this. Adult female human. Late Old English. It has variations of the Old English root word women, wyman, and then plural women. Literally woman dash man. Alteration of with man, and then also the plural of with men. But look in the center here where I have it highlighted. The definition of woman is a female servant. Okay, now when we click on the highlighted word man, we get this definition. And now this definition I find quite odd for man. It says a featherless plantigrade biped mammal of the genus Homo. It is also Old English, and the variations are man, M-A-N, M-A-N-N. Definition is human being, person, and in parentheses it says male or female. So they're saying that man can define both male and female. But reading on, it says brave man, hero. But it says also servant. Vassal, adult male considered as under the control of another person. Don't you find that interesting? So when we're both calling one another man and woman, we are really just agreeing to what they are considering us as, servants. Now, when I found out the meaning of these two words, I wasn't at all surprised because this confirms why our names are all in caps on our birth certificates and social security cards. The truth is that there are no such thing as capitalized or majuscule letters because when the hieroglyphs were being translated into the Phoenician and Greek alphabet, the character used at the time still represented the feminine. For instance, the A represented the female being pregnant and also the female squatting to give birth, as it was done traditionally. The A was also first in the alphabet because it symbolized the beginning, the alpha or aleph. Also, the A represented the number 1 in mathematics. So, capital or majuscule letters came on the scene much later, and I would probably estimate maybe in the Roman era, when the masculine energy came to dominate the feminine in full swing. And I'm going to stress full swing because actually the masculine came to dominate the feminine in the Egyptian civilization. But it was in full swing when the Romans wrote in all caps in all of their writings, and this also carried over with the English, where proper sentence structuring is beginning each sentence with a capital letter representing masculine, and beginning all proper nouns with a capital letter, and having the feminine letters, the small or minuscule letters, follow behind. Okay? So while we're still on this page, let's look at this next highlighted word, men, on the second paragraph. Now this word men means to think, which comes from the word mental. All right? And reading on, it says, which would make the ground sense of a man, one who has intelligence, but not all linguists accept this. Okay? So again, the word men comes from the word mental. Now, I stress this phrase a lot, and it's for a reason. And the phrase is, the world is but a concept. Change the concept, you change the world. Because this is all a mind game. This is how they can control us through and by our mental capacity. Now, for example, if I tell you that up is up, but in reality, down is up, but up is up has been your indoctrination all throughout your life, then up is up, no matter what reality shows you, right? But see, when we lived in tune with the feminine energy, we lived intuitively. It wasn't about thinking always, but allowing ourselves to be guided by feeling, intuition. And when you're guided by your own guidance system, then no one can control you. Understand? We were all sovereign beings. So everything has its purpose. And we are definitely in a world of sentence sorcery and word wizardry. Let's look up these next two words because I want to show you how words changed from a feminine representation to now the masculine. So I've typed in the word son, and this is what we come up with. Now, we've been led to believe that the word son means a male child. Am I correct? Again, it's up really up. So let's read the origin of this word son. It's of the Old English root word sunu. Son, descendant, is from Proto-Germanic sinus or sunus. And it has other variations, the Old Norse, soner, Danish, son, Swedish, son. But then let's go down where I have it highlighted here. And it says a derived noun from root su. Okay, and it has number 1, to give birth. Now, how does a son give birth? And then also I have highlighted gives birth. So I really thought that was very interesting. Now, when I mentioned this to my brother that the word son had at one time meant feminine and it derived from the root word su, it was like a light bulb came on. And he responded, now I understand what that song meant that Johnny Cash sang back in the day about his dad naming him Sue. Okay, now those of us who were raised back then may know what I'm talking about. A Boy Named Sue by Johnny Cash. And now if not, I'll leave a link to that song and its lyrics in the description box below. Now let's look up the word sun, S-U-N. Okay? Now, we're told that the sun is a star and all of that, but how many of us know of its origin? So let's read and find out. Now, the first paragraph, it's normal, Old English sune, which is similar to the S-O-N root word, meaning the sun is also from Proto-Germanic. Variations, suno, German, suna, Dutch, zon, and so forth. But I have a few sentences or a couple of sentences here in the second paragraph highlighted for a very good reason, because it's extremely important and it tells a whole lot about when things changed and why they changed. Now, here where I have it highlighted, it says Old English sune was feminine, okay, as generally in Germanic, and the feminine pronoun was used in English until the 16th century. Since then, masculine has prevailed. Understand? The empire on which the sun never sets originally was Spanish, later the British. So what they're saying here, that the sun was used to represent the feminine, well, up until the 16th century, and since then, the masculine is the empire of which they intend the sun will never set. That is their intention, but their time is running out. Now, see, it's not about race. It is, but it isn't. And what I mean by that is that it's not about color race, okay? It's about the race of the two seeds. And I'll expound on that a little more once we look up this last word, Eve. We weren't supposed to mix the two seed races. Now, when we pull up the word Eve, this is what we get. It's a feminine proper name, biblical first woman, late Latin from Hebrew Semitic Hawa, literally a living being. From base Hawa, he lived. Compare Arabic Haya, Aramaic Hayin. Now we'll move down to the second paragraph and read on. In the Hebrew here, the phonetic similarity is between Hawa, Eve, and the verbal root Haya, to live. It has been proposed that Eve's name conceals very different origins, for it sounds suspiciously like the Aramaic word for serpent. And the Aramaic word for serpent is Hayin, up above. Now, this word Hayin is extremely important because here it's meaning serpent. But before I go further about Hayin, meaning serpent, and its close relation to Haya and Hawa, let's look up one more name here. And I know that I said that Eve would be the last word, but I'm certain you'll find the next name to be quite as important as I do to understand just how flipped our world really is. Okay, so I have typed in the name Yahweh. And do you see what I mean? Again, is up really up? Now, it says based on the assumption that the tetragrammaton is the imperfective of Hebrew verb hawa, earlier form of haya, was, in the sense of the one who is the existing. So I wanted to pull that up because I found that very interesting, how Yahweh has the same root word as Eve, both being Hawa and Haya. Now, I had also looked up the etymology and the different variations of the word Eve, and have taken notes in my notepad. So here we have Eve, and we have Ava, which I do believe Ava was before Eve, since A came before E. But we have Ava, Aya, and then the other forms of Aya with two Y's and then an H added. Then we have Haya, and then different forms of Haya with the H added at the end, and then the two Y's added in the middle. Awa in its different forms, Hawa in its different formations, and then we have Hayin, which in Aramaic again meant serpent. And then I have down below the definitions of these root words. Hayin, again, meaning serpent. Haya, meaning to be. I am. Now, remember when Moses came from the burning bush? I am that I am. Then we have Hawa, Yahweh, and then we have Aya, meaning living being. So again, I just found this all very interesting, and I wanted to show you before I ended this video. So let's go back to the root word Hayin. Okay, now, so in revisiting the root word Hayin meaning serpent, I want to just briefly share my feelings regarding the serpent. And since our world concept has been flipped for us to believe that everything that once meant one thing now means its opposite, shouldn't we revisit how we look at the serpent? I mean, I really ask myself that now. Because also in part 2 of the misplacement of the matriarch, the video that I am still currently working on, I go in depth about the serpent, parthenogenesis, which means virgin birth, and why our ancestors, the indigenous people of the earth, once honored and considered the serpent to be the creator of all living. Now, my feelings about the serpent is that Eve and the serpent are one. They are synonymous in meaning. Yahweh, Eve, and the serpent are all the same in meaning. And yet we have been led to believe that Yahweh is this male sky god, Eve is the woman who was the cause of the fall of man, and the serpent is the devil. You see, the architects of this world concept are crafty and deceitful. They are cunning in how they break apart whole constructs into tiny pieces and give them all different names to make us think that it's all separate. Like, for instance, religion. Here we believe, here we all have these different religions, that teach a patriarchal order, but you are made to believe that they are separate. They pull people in, making them think that one religion is better than another, and have people fighting and killing one another in the name of this make-believe God. Now, if we really are serious about waking up, then we must abandon this patriarchal world. This is the world we must come out of. We must come out of him, not her, as the Bible so eloquently puts it. So that's it for now, and I do hope that you have enjoyed my video, and in your enjoyment have also learned something new. And please like my video and leave a comment and share my video, please. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for future notifications. And until then, our ancestors are waiting.